Hi guys, welcome again, I guess, to Poker Vagabond on YouTube thing. It's been a while since I've actually been doing this. I've been doing lots of poker stuff, but the kind of recording video thing took a backseat because my computer's a bit shit and doesn't really encode very well when I'm doing the videos and stuff. So, and also that's a massive old excuse. I was just being a bit lazy and doing other stuff. But I feel like it's just part of something I need to keep doing. So I guess this is Road to India Part 3. Although whether I'm going to India or not might be changing now. I don't really know. Because I'm 28 and visas for Canada run out when I'm 30, and you only get 5,000. Only 5,000 UK residents get accepted every year. I feel like I have to apply next year when I'm 29. Just in case I don't get it, then I can apply when I'm 30. And I want to do Canada. I want to go live there for a year or two. I don't really know how long you get there. But so that's something I'm kind of doing. So this is Road to India, but whether or not that's before I go to Canada or if I go to Canada, who knows. For now, I guess we'll treat it as Road to India because I will definitely be going there and I will live there for a bit. So, especially now that Indian dude's released or doing a 4G thing, and it's free calls and loads of data really cheap, but he's fucking up the telecommunications thing over in India, so that's quite interesting in terms for me when I go there. Anyway, enough of that bollocks. So yeah, I've been playing a lot, well, not loads, but certainly enough to say that poker's still a massive part of what I'm doing, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this shit. And I'm just going through a thing called the Grinder Manual at the moment. Now, if Caratas actually sees this video, which I'm sure he won't, but if he does, oh yeah, I had to delete Foxit Red PDF Viewer or something because it was shit and kept crashing. Anyway, if Caratas sees this, oh, you can't see me now. Oh yeah, so I'm going on my other screen. Then I will have to apologise and say I haven't bought your book yet, but I downloaded it. I am not very wealthy at the moment. However, I have promised him, even though I've never spoke to him, and myself, that I will buy it from him. Actually, I was meaning to give him an email because I'll be listening to his podcast a bit as well, and sees that he needs or wants people to come on his show. So I wouldn't mind doing that, to be fair. Anyway, so this is kind of what I've been going through now. I don't play 6-max, I play 4-ring, but I want to incorporate 6-max into my regime, if you want to call it that, routine, that's better, at some point. But for now, I'm kind of just going through this slowly each chapter. It's a great book, I highly recommend you buy it. And check out Carrot's stuff, carrotcorner.com. But yeah, so I'm kind of been focusing on really trying to improve my play dramatically. Like before, I was trying to get volume in and thinking I could beat the games while just doing volume and just betting with my good hands and folding with my shit hands. But it's not really how it works, really. And there's a lot of, you've got to try and take every grain of should we say plus EV every time you possibly can to be profitable at poker, especially in cash games. Yeah, I've been kind of going through that. Results haven't been too great recently, but yeah, I'm not really too bothered about results, really. I mean, obviously I am, but I know that I'm going in the right direction in terms of everything else. My work ethic, my playing style, blah 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 blah. So before I begin, I just want to take you quickly through my warm-up that I do. If you're going to play poker and you take it seriously and want to play it professionally or semi-professionally, don't know why I'm picking up scissors, but I like to fiddle with stuff because whatever. Then I highly recommend a warm-up. It's just the same. If we're going to be honest, really, poker is a sport. Yeah, it's a mental sport, and you know, I don't have to be super fit or anything, but it is a sport, and you need to warm up in every sport that you do. Even if this sport is just warming up my brain. And you know, they've done studies, haven't they, that your brain can actually grow and all that crap. So I do a warm up every time I play, and this has become pretty much second nature to me now. And this is it here. So I just every morning, well not every morning, every time I start to begin a session, I don't do this every time I've had a break then go back to a session. I'm kind of in the middle of trying to create a sort of smaller version of this after I've done this and I've had like 2 hour playing, then I take a break, come back, and rather than jumping straight back in, just, you know, ease myself into it. So I just get all my distractions closed. I load, hold, and manager PokerStars. I don't really do the notebook anymore, the notepad, because I kind of feel like I end up having just, I mean, look, I've just got loads of notepads with stuff. It's like blog posts here, I guess you can't read that. I've got that one there, and then I'll have shit here, and then just look at this. I mean, what the fuck? What aggro actually means. Re-steal versus hero, writing notes and keep going to different table. Blah blah blah. It's just I end up having so much information that it's a bit counterproductive, really. So that's why I'm kind of been following the Grounders manual. I've only just started, really, but just having actually sort of like a syllabus and something that I'm actually focusing on and concentrating on that, and not having all these other ideas that I'm writing down and trying to incorporate, just getting a solid foundation up and up and up as I get better. So I don't do that so much, but I still have it up. I have the clock open, which is here. This just gives me little timers, either for an hour. I started always trying to just play solidly for an hour, which you'll see here. My specific goal of the day is play at full concentration for half-hour intervals. No Facebook, no changing music, no Reddit. It sounds ridiculous. Obviously, you don't do that when playing poker, but we're humans and we get distracted really easy, and it's really easy to get distracted. So I used to do this for an hour, and I just felt like I kept losing it, like 40 odd minutes in, so I kind of decided to create my half-hour alarm, and just when that goes off, sometimes just make sure I'm actually really focused. Doesn't always work like that, obviously, but it's still pretty helpful to have. So yeah, I load that. I just do the all-in shootout for the promotions, if you know what that is. It's here. The tournament tickets that you win by doing the challenges. I don't bother with all the other stuff because this takes time and I can't really be bothered. You know, if you've got time to play a free tournament, then go for it. But yeah, it's not. Yeah, got other stuff to do. Checked any marked hands. So this is the second time of me doing this video because the first one I had no sound. Classic. So what I do is I go. Yeah, you don't want to look at this. My beginning of the month is horrible. I wrote a blog post, I think the same day that I think it was this second day here when it was minus 38, and yeah, that's going to be coming soon. But really shitty start to the month, which is something I really hate, and I need to get better at not having such a shit start, because that's what I seem to do. I don't know why. But it's a really haggard start, which is never good, especially when I'm getting really excited about where this is going, and then I just balls it up in the first day or two. So this checking marked hands thing is basically based on, I used to have this sort of zone cooldown, so after I finish a session I chill out and I go through how I've played and blah blah blah, mistakes I've made and all this crap, mental game, and evaluate the impact of variance and all this. And I just felt like I just couldn't be bothered. I after playing, you know, just a few hours of poker or whatever, the last thing I want to do is just sit down and go for everything. It just wasn't really in my nature, it seems. So I've pretty much don't do this anymore. I've still got it there so I can look at it and maybe incorporate it some other way somehow. But I've changed it to checked any marked hands from the previous session. That way it kind of stops myself from just rushing into doing this warm-up and then just start playing hands in the morning, just woo, and suddenly, you know, I'm playing 6 tables and just straight in. This way, if I've got any marked hands, I can slowly start thinking of my thought process and That way my brain starts ticking even before I've started playing, which I think is good. It's pretty new. I've only started doing it this week, so that's probably like 5 days in or 6 days in or something like that. But it feels pretty. I feel like it's going to be pretty important. So now I'm doing my mental game warm up. This is from the mental game of poker, as you can imagine. This is just a big questionnaire that comes up. Mental strength, specific poker memories, handle pressure situations, blah blah blah. But the biggest one I look at is just my mental game problems. Why? When do I feel like I'm having mental game struggles? And everyone has their own different things. You know, some people will be pissed off if losing to regs and whatnot. I get pissed off when I lose money to aggressive guys where I haven't really got a plan for it, and fish. Well, you know, there's different things, but the key ones here. So, for example, I'm also prone to banging my desk, which is a sure sign that I'm beginning to tilt. So as soon as I start banging my desk, it's not like, oh my god, I have to stop, but it's like, okay, like that's a sign. I just need to be aware that that I'm starting to tilt a little bit. Sometimes it's natural, like you just bang it, fuck's sake, and then you just continue on. And I guess that's what you have to do, because we are, again, humans, that we get emotional. So another thing is not knowing how to deal with specific opponents and heading into hands without a plan makes me angry, especially when it ends up costing me money. This especially applies to aggressive opponents, where I don't have much of a plan in regards to playing optimally against them. I'm also prone to tilt after starting off a session well and then losing a couple of binds very quickly. And I just said it's a roller coaster ride. I need to understand that that's happened. But these are just little things I've picked up on. Highly recommend, as always, that you buy Mental Game of Poker. Both I've got 1 and 2. Great books. If you're into just poker literature, anyway, then you'll be yeah, it's just really interesting. So I go through that, and then I read my goals. I changed these recently, but they're pretty simple. I need to maybe improve on them a little bit, but my long-term goals overall is just to earn $10 an hour over a large sample size. Now, to most people here, it's fucking nothing, but for me, that is being able to live in India, to live in Thailand, to live pretty much anywhere, definitely in the eastern side of the world, and be fine. And you know, you can survive in India on $10 a day. If I can earn $10 an hour, then that's me being all right. Like that, I think it's a jumping off point. It's not where I want to end up. Obviously, where I want to end up is fucking whatever, being a millionaire. That'd be great. But realistically, like $10 an hour, like is gonna be pretty nice. And it sounds easy, and I thought it was gonna be easy. Well, not totally easy, but yeah. And it's just not, because when you start playing thousands and thousands and thousands of hands, then it's everything comes together, if you know what I mean. Like you could probably be winning if you play poker here and there, and you dilly dally and whatnot. But it's because you're probably more focused. But when you've got to try and do this hours and hours every day, forever, like actually things start taking its toll, and you realise that you won't survive if you don't work at it. But anyway, that's my thing, to have Poker Vagabond up and running with a range of content. That's why I'm doing these videos. I kind of became a bit slack, because, slack mans. But I kind of feel like these videos are really good for me as well. I know I won't get that many views, like even the poker guys they're doing some awesome content. They're only getting 17,000 views or whatever, so yeah, I'm assuming about 5 people will watch this. But if I can help one dude actually feel like he can actually make it as a poker professional or whatever, that'd be pretty cool, I guess. To play 40 so month, so I have my long-term goals. That's just the stretch out. Monthly goals is just to play 40,000 hands this month. I think I've played about 8 or 9,000. It's now the 8th, so on my way there. To continue one chapter at a time, reading and reviewing the Grinders Manual. What was this shit? That was the book that I was telling you about. I feel, with poker studying stuff, there can be huge amount of fucking information out there, and it's really, 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 really easy to just get bogged down in everything. So I would highly recommend you buy the Grinder's Manual and just go through that and take your time with it. Take your fucking time. You could be going through this manual for easily a year and just making sure your whole foundation is built on rock solid information. Sadly, it's for six-handed and not full ring, but the same principles apply. I'm not always the greatest at knowing the difference in certain areas, should we say, but I guess it doesn't really boil down to too much. It's all the same sort of thing. So, and yeah, to keep Poker Vagabond updated with new blogs, vlogs, and monthly roundup, that's me doing this video. Yeah, as I say, I've been during the summer, but festivals and stuff, so I haven't done any videos. But I feel like I'm ready to at least do one a week now. My weekly goal is warm up before every session, film one video blog every week, which is now obviously. This was cool down after every session, but I changed it because, as I said, the cool down was hard. It was just a bit knackering, to be fair, and you sort of something like you don't really want to do. So I kind of took it out. And probably the most important thing is consistently try and get into the zone. Really, really important. You just can't half hog anything anymore in poker at all. If you do, then if you can, like obviously there's gonna be whiz kids out there, but if you're not a whiz kid and you don't just instantly know what everything means and what you have to do, then trying to get in the zone and think through every single decision is a surefire way of just getting better. Which it makes sense. It all seems really basic, but once you've, I guess, played 400,000 hands or whatever that I've done this year. Was it this year? No, probably less this year. No, definitely way less this year. But once you start doing everything loads and loads and loads and loads, you realise how tough it is to try and consistently get into that right frame of mind. It's pretty hard. So that's why in my thing I try and focus on only half an hour or an hour and just make sure that is solid work rather than 2 hours of fanning around and, you know, c-betting for no reason, you know, or not even thinking of reasons to be like, I'm the pre-flop raiser, therefore I c-bet, and not looking at anything else, you know, just doing it. You have to, you know, you've got to try and think of the stats all the time and whatnot, and you know, then think of what turns you can barrel and all this shit. Anyway, so that's my, oh, still got more, haven't we? Yeah, so that's my long-term goals. So read through these every time. They're my specific goal for the day. This hasn't changed in the last week or two, and it's become pretty important, and that is just to play at full concentration for half-hour intervals, no Facebook, no changing music, no Reddit. Now obviously this doesn't always happen. Yesterday, for example, I went to see Toots and the Maytals with my friends, and I was trying to get a last hour of session in before we left, and I could see myself playing six-handed, but then also trying to arrange things on Facebook, and I was like, right, I might as well just not play this last 15 minutes or whatever I think that I had left in my session, because I'm not doing one of my specific goals of the day, so I might as well just stop. It's fine, don't worry about those 15 minutes, like, or I'd stop chatting to everyone, but I kind of didn't want to because I was getting excited, so that's that. And then I have a strategic notes to help me improve my game. So this has changed a little bit. My beginning was, beginning of the week last week, was look at all the button steal opportunities. So I was only playing button like 30%, but I've been trying to up that to about 50%. And once again, it's not just 7 deuce, it can be an open on the button. You know, 10-3 offsuit can be an open. I used to just be sort of instant fold it. But it's also, if that's an open, why is it an open? And you've got to know these reasons. And it's not just because there's 2 nits in the blinds. Obviously that can be a reason. But if you've got 2 nits in the blinds, but one of them actually re-steals, you know, 15% from you, then you've then got to tighten up that range a little bit, and maybe 7 deuce doesn't become an open. Lots of things like that, and you find that in the Grinder's Manual. Really, really interesting. So this is look to try and float more flops and decrease my fold to c-bet stat, backdoor flushes, overcards, gut shots, etc. Now, to be fair, this is a little bit. I kind of feel like I shouldn't have this note in there because it was just on the characters Deuce's Crack video, teaching with Tom, where he talks about not having such a high fold to c-bet stat, but I kind of feel like I've kind of rushed ahead ahead of the Grinder's Manual, and I'm doing things that I don't fully grasp. But it's just something that's there. It's probably not going to be my be all and end all, and I'm probably going to go back to the button stuff, and I'm going to go back to the isolating fish stuff, which is at the beginning of the manual. But this was just the thing that I added yesterday after watching that video. So do that. My essential short-term goal is to play in the zone. Pretty self-explanatory. Just be focused and have anything else open. And then the 3 deep breaths, which I do every time, just to get your mind ready to play. I mean, you can't just be sitting on Facebook and all that. You might have a bit of success now and again, but you know, it's not anything for the long term. So after my 3 deep breaths, which I won't really do here, or you know, it's just I normally do the 3 deep breaths and the visualization sort of all as one. So I just close my eyes and start getting ready. Sort of like a semi-meditation thing, but not really, but a little bit. And I do the visualization of playing in the zone, or visualizing making a mistake, and make sure I try and avoid them. Just whatever you think is just whatever you're trying to work with, or whatever, just trying to visualize it. And then let's do it. So then I start playing. So at the moment, I play 6 tables, but obviously because I'm fucking taking up one of the corners, I'll get rid of my zoom table, because normally I play 5 normal and 1 zoom. Tempted to go down just to like 4 tables, because yeah, just to get that foundation right. I feel like my foundation is a little bit off, even though I've played for so long. But I think we can play for 5 here. Let's try and move that one so you guys can see. Cool. I won't go through all my stats. Well, I'll go through them while I might as well. I'll leave that box open here. I'll put the timer in here, just because we can. Kind of want the other one above. It's not going to work, is it? God, my computer is slow. Well, that's kind of pointless because you can't see it. Don't know how you can switch them around. Fuck it. Okay, so sometimes obviously there's a simple fold where you don't need to think, which is pretty handy. But it's good to start looking around at the table and how you can start to exploit people straight away. I'm just going to leave this table here because I have a blue guy. Blue guy is generally a sort of card runner style player, just with relatively good stats. Okay, so here is fold small blind to button steal, fold big blind to button steal, and fold big blind versus small blind steal. You can try a min open here. I'll just prefer to not. But you're going to be pretty profitable, but just pretty much raising any 2 cards in the small blind. But a pretty small sample size, so I wouldn't go too crazy. Control S just to get a new table up. I have recently, so I'm kind of bringing everyone onto this screen. I have recently been actually going through and just joining some waiting lists. I'm looking for guys in pink, really. Pink for me is sort of fishy players. At the moment it's 10 to 1 on a Thursday, so there's not going to be a huge amount of fit. This is a really good table, 2 pink guys. Annoyingly, sometimes when I write a note, the guy turns to pink and then I forget that maybe they're not actually big fish. But so here's one. So over here is total steel, and sometimes that's a really big difference. So here, he steals about 40%, 42% on the button, and 23 from the cutoff. So I think I'd raise with any suited ace. I think ace 4 is just a little bit weak, but this is not my strong point either. Now I'm trying to defend my big blind a little bit, but obviously that's from under the gun open, so that could generally for me be a little bit of a mistake. But now I'm just going to bet out. Bet around 35. I'm probably going to fire 2 streets here because he showed some weakness. Another thing I'm trying to improve on. As I say, I'm no coach, so this is, you know, I will be making mistakes and stuff, and that's part of poker learning, really. There's a few things I've been going through my database, and it's like, oh shit, I'm making quite a lot of mistakes here. So here, you fold 63%. Just gonna fold that. He's green, so he's quite aggressive, so I want to tighten up my range against that guy. 7-6 off. Easy open on the button. But small blind versus big blind with a aggressive guy on my left. So obviously I now have to look to see if this table's profitable. But another big thing from the Grinders manual is actually just min opening. I never used to do it before, ever. But now, because you don't have to get a steal through and people don't adjust as well, min opens actually can be profitable. So right now, this if I raised to 25 and then he free betted to 75 or 90, I'd probably fold. But for here, that he fires ones and gives up quite a lot, so I can call that. I mean, that's probably the bottom of my range for calling a 3-bet, definitely. See, my computer lagged out a little bit there. And that's it, you can, if he folds, like he's folding about 55%, 53% of the time to c-bets, and his small blind, how much is he 3-betting here? About 10% of hands. So ace 9 is a pretty comfortable call, I believe. I say I'm not perfect. And if I say things wrong, whatever, I guess it's why I'm here, to try and learn and try and articulate to myself as well as to you guys, what I feel would be pretty good. So what I generally feel is that it seems so easy for coaches and people, when I watch videos online, it seems really easy that they seem to know every sort of situation and everything. So it's good for me to be able to try and speak my mind about what I'm thinking, even if some of it's wrong. Maybe randomly some guy will come in and tell me where my thought process is going wrong. That'd be pretty sweet, and also a bit annoying. So I haven't got any hands on this guy. I'm gonna fold that. So now there's been a couple of orbits, I can see if it's profitable to stay at a table still. So here we've got a couple of fishy players playing 32, thingy 13. I've tried to change my fish labels to fit or fold, calling station, aggro fish, and the whale. Once again, based on the Grinders sort of manual. Still not completely sure about where I put people sometimes, so sometimes I just leave them as purple because I know that in my head is a steal. So I can raise that up here. It's a pretty weak hand and really, once again, probably bottom of range, but it's made easier by the fact that I've got two tight players in the blinds that shouldn't really be getting in my way too often. And I'm expecting to be able to see bet a bunch of flops and take this down, or take it down right there. So once again, not the greatest of hands. Not the greatest of hands to ISO with, but given all the information around, it seemed possible. Just like 8-4 here, and this could be. This is a really loose open, but I want to see, these guys seem really tight again. That's it. I would never before have even thought about opening 8-4, but now it just seems to be standard. I'm just going to check this. I've got pretty decent showdown. Obviously now it's good. Going to min raise here. Fold that. The reason why I didn't see bet the fives is just because I think it was into 3 other players. Just with a pretty wet board. Yeah, I don't need that in my life. Maybe should have bet a little bit more there. Now I've been reading a bit about pocket pairs and how people overestimate them a little bit. Once again, grinders, manual, and characters. The reason I decided to open that is because I got a relatively fishy guy, 25-20, so he's playing a little bit too many hands. So he might pay me off when I hit my 3 more often than someone if he was like a tight player, should we say. Now with this guy here, does this fold to see that? Oh no, I haven't got any information on that. So I moved my HUD stats around a bit, so I'm getting a little bit confused. Really tight. I am just going to bet here actually. I don't mind a check back with king high, but you could get ace, some aces to fold there. And he's nitty, so if he hasn't hit, he's probably going to fold everything. So I don't mind that. Jesus, what's happened here? Also like to review hands. Again, like this guy, I'm not going to get many folds. So queen, it becomes my range tightens up considerably now. So I think, you know, most broadways and 5s plus, 6 plus. I'm just going to fold that. I was tempted to call just because this guy's playing a few too many hands, so he might pay me off. So another table has turned up. And it's got 2 fishy players on, so I'm going to obviously stay at this table. I forgot to really look at all the other tables. So this guy's relatively fishy-ish, nothing too crazy. What I also recommend you try not to do is look at your stats when you haven't got that many hands on them. I mean, I've been really bad at trying to do that. I don't like having. I'm just gonna flat call here. I haven't got any stats on. He hasn't turned up yet, so I feel like it's a little bit too strong to fold. So just a flat call. There's also quite a few nitty players left to act, so I don't feel like I'm gonna get squeezed out of it too often. Annoyingly, I haven't got any stats again. It's one of those things where if I bet, what am I folding out? But I might just try and get this to showdown. I mean, I could have folded that ace king, but that's really about it. I feel like ace high can be pretty good. There we go. So it's something I'm trying to improve on, not just c-betting because it checked to me. Actually trying to think about what I'm trying to do. What am I trying to get folded? What am I trying to fold out? So this ends up being a 40. And also I can hear opened A10 off YouTube G. No c-bet onto 3-3. Is it 9 flop? I think. Turn c-bet when I check that. So no, I haven't got the thingy here, but oh, computer's lagging hard. I'm just gonna give that a bet out. At 4, he's folded to every single one, so might as well try and take the lead with it. It's not the greatest reasons, but it's strong enough to bet out because I don't really want to check call it either. So I just looked and it seems like I've already been recording for 35 minutes. I obviously don't want these videos to be too long really, but I feel like you might want to watch some more poker stuff. You can always skip through, it doesn't really matter. And classic, I never actually put on one of my things. Oh shit. So that's a cool, easy. Yeah, it's the only bad thing with doing these videos is my computer is a bit haggard, so it does lag. I don't really feel the need of betting out here. I could to protect it for. I'm probably going to check. I'm probably going to call a street again because he could fire another. It could easily be a missed flush draw there. 27-20. I think I got enough equity to call. You got a6 in the end. Jesus. Monster hand. So I was in the hijack, I probably would raise, but there's a fishy-ish player in the blind, so I want to call. And he folds to 80%, so ace queen is a little bit too strong for that. In terms of, if I 3-bet him and he pretty much folds out everything I beat and will continue with everything I'm nearly getting crushed by. Well, obviously jacks and 10s and 9s aren't crushed, but I'm just going to raise this up, so I do the 40 and then I'm going to raise the 50 because I do 1x, so 3BB normal, plus 1 because of the limper, and then 1 because I'm out of the position. And he limp raises, I hate limp raises. I'm actually going to raise this here. It's pretty loose. I don't love it, but there's a big nitty player in the blinds. And this guy hasn't raised from the bottom yet, until now. So I'll start doing from 25 from the cutoff as well, just to. So obviously my I don't have to steal the blinds as much for it to be profitable. I used to be able to. I used to c-bet here and just sort of, you know, oh well, if I show weakness, then I'm just gonna get run over. But I can check call this one street. You know, get some bluffs in there. Third pair. Obviously I could have got some value from diamonds, but it literally, if I fire once and get called, there we go. And that's something I would have been wrong at, where I would have c-bet the flop, maybe got called by, what was it, ace-7, randomly they might have called, or they would have just folded and I would have got the 40 cents. Definitely something I'm trying to improve on. So when it comes to here, I've actually been raising more for the fish. And this guy actually folds to 69% of c-bets, so this is easily a c-bet here. I've got him labelled as that, but he's actually not that at all. Let me just put him there. Now he's probably got a piece of the board now, probably like pocket. Well, I say he's got this, that's not a way to do things. I can just fold. I'm going to do this for another 3 minutes or so. Definitely going to be making some more of these because I find it quite useful. And I say it just gets some content up for me, which is pretty nice. When I look back on, when I'm living in India, I can look back and say I made those videos, which would be quite cool. So that guy's left, is he? Oh, Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ. Okay. I need to see what his stats are because they haven't moved yet. There we go. That's cool. Just gonna do that. Easy ISO there. I expect to be able to take that down with a c-bet. Obviously I can flop the nuts as well. See, that was a bit of a too quick fold, I didn't really look. Bets out, leads out, so I can't do anything with that. For 12, easy defend, I think. Even though is it defending when it's that far? I think that's quite an easy defend. I could be wrong, but I feel you're getting such a good price with actually quite a nice disguised hand here. Obviously not folding. And checks. It's gonna bet out for a bit. Defending with ace-9. Laggy computer. So I'm not a massive fan of defending ace-9, but against a relatively terrible player, out of position isn't great though. Oh, sorry. That was probably a bit of a loose defend, to be perfectly honest. Alright, I'm gonna call it a day for now. I know I didn't really play that much poker. There's not many of you watching anyway, so it doesn't matter. Haha. I want to see if just in that small amount of time. Yeah, really bad. I should definitely not have done that because now I'm like, Jesus Christ. Really bad move. Computer cannot handle this shit at all. Oh god. Yeah, definitely don't do that if you've got open broadcast software running. Shit, son. Alright, well I'm left to deal with this piece of shit. Fucking hell. God. Oh my Jesus Christ. I lost 93 cents in that. Maybe because I'm shit. Alright guys, I'll catch you later. Hopefully you stick around. There should be one of these every week from now on. Cool. Catch you in a bit. Bye.